Okay, the first guy off the board, shortstop, Kevin Elster. What a great player. Great defensively, nice swing. Went 88 consecutive games without an error. He is card 443. War number 21. What a great player, Kevin Elster. Up next, probably the best pitcher for the Mets in history, in my opinion. I know you could definitely argue Tom Seaver, but this guy just was unbelievable talent. Obviously had the drug issues. He had the shoulder tear. This guy, 313, Doc Gooden. Up next, we have Ron Darling. Ron obviously is the broadcaster now for the Mets, but he was the backbone of the rotation there for a while on those great Mets teams. 446 is his number. He wore number 15. Ron Darling. All right, up next, Bob Ueda, off-speed pitcher for the Mets. He's card 53. Bob started with the Red Sox, and then he had a lot of great games for the Mets, especially down the stretch. Won 13 games, won 10 games in 88 and 89. Great player. Bob was a part of that tragedy down there in spring training when Steve Olin and Tim Cruz were killed in that boating accident. Up next, we have Dave Magadan. And Dave was a great contact hitter. Card 46, wore number 29. Basically was blocked by Keith Hernandez at the time, but he could play first and third. And of course, Hojo was there as well, Howard Johnson. So he was blocked by both those guys. But this guy was an excellent contact hitter. Just never did hit below 300. Obviously, he went on to be drafted by the Marlins in that expansion draft. You also had Mackie Sasser, backup catcher, had some power on him. He threw out Vince Coleman in 88 or 89. Might have been 88 when Coleman was at his peak. Sasser has that on his resume. He threw out Vince Coleman. His card is 510. He wore number 2. Up next is Tim Teufel, and we all know about Tim. Tim had the greatest batting stance. Go back on YouTube and check out his batting stance. The best batting stance of all time. Played second first. He was a reserve guy, but filled in well. He was with the Twins for a while. Card 501, wore number 11. That's Tim Teufel. Up next, Frank Viola. What a great pitcher. 24-game winner for the Twins. He's card 500. He wore number 26. And like I said, he was definitely the shot in the arm that the Mets needed during. Of course, this was the end of the run for the Mets. By 90, everything was going to basically fall apart. But when things were going good, 88, he was traded. I believe in 88. Let's check that out and see. No, he was in 89. He was traded, but they definitely needed him. Frank Viola. Up next, Keith Miller. This is one of Davey's favorites. Keith, 559, second base. He wore number 25, but he also filled in for the center fielders as well at center field. Kind of bounced back and forth from the Tidewater to the Mets. But Davey really liked him. He was a good player. This guy I know nothing about. I don't know how. Don Ace. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. He's card 377. Looks like a relief pitcher. Looked like he was traveled. Red Sox, Angels, Orioles, and then the Mets. All right. Another guy. This guy was drafted by the Orioles. Blaine Beatty, 1990 rookie. Came in drafted. He was an impressive minor leaguer, but I don't know that he made it either. It said in 86, after being drafted 9th by the Orioles in 1986. I just read a little bit on him. Up next, Randy Myers. This is your closer. This guy always had confidence. He ended up playing with the Cubs later on. Card 351, number 48. Randy Myers. Mark Carrion, this guy here, utility player. Card 363. He would, again, a lot like Miller, would bounce back and forth from Tidewater to the Mets. He wore number 32 in the outfield. Here's your setup guy, Jeff Musselman. He's card 525. Came over from the Blue Jays. Became the setup man. Important guy. Him and Myers taking care of that closing role. Here's the card you wanted when you were my age back in the day, Greg Jeffries. This was the card you were after. Number 9, card 468. Jeffries, of course, he didn't really find his niche here with the Mets. They played him all over the place, and then once he went to the Cardinals, he was, he really started to flourish with St. Louis. St. Louis put him at first base, and he never looked back. But the potential was sky high with this guy. Juan Samuel, he was the guy that they traded Lenny Dykstra for. Card 198, wore number 8, and Samuel, he had some speed on him. Let's take a look here. 42 stolen bases between the Phillies and Mets in '89, so he definitely had a lot of value. But I think a lot of the Mets fans would tell you that they wanted Dykstra to stick around. Dykstra was a good player, but Juan Samuel, I believe he played second base for a while. His whole career he played second base, and then they tried to move him to the outfield. The all-time GOAT, Gary Carter. This was a fan favorite. Rest in peace. 416, Gary Carter. Started off with the Expos. The only guy, I believe they said, to hit 2 home runs in the All-Star game and 2 home runs in the World Series. So, number 8, Gary Carter. Like I said, this guy was an all-time great, no doubt about it. Another all-time great. This would be the end of his career in New York, Darryl Strawberry. This guy could literally take over a game by himself. He had so much talent. Card 200. He wore number 18. He would eventually sign a free agent deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Like I said, when this guy got hot, there's nobody that could stop him. Darryl Strawberry. Had he not been derailed with some personal issues, he could have been one of the best players in baseball. That's how much talent this guy had. Kevin McReynolds. I remember this guy had some speed. Speed guy. Great fielder, too, for the Mets. Card 5. He is number 22. Played out in left field. You can see he had 21 stolen bases in '88. 15 in '89. Good fielder, good speed guy, Kevin McReynolds. He'd end up playing with the Royals later on, along with Keith Miller. Keith Hernandez. He is a magician at first base, no doubt about it. Great player. Card 193. 11-time Gold Glove winner. Career from '74. He was on the back end, still had a lot of good years left in him. 1989, he did have some injuries, and I said that's what Magadan ended up playing that year for him. Platoon coming in and trying to spare him. Howard Johnson, card 124. There was a lot of talk in there in 89 about them trading Howard Johnson. He wore number 20, third baseman. And Howard Johnson, he was a dangerous fastball hitter. 36 homers in 87, another 36 homers in 89. Mets fans are probably glad that he stuck around. David Cone, 20-game winner. This guy was unbelievable. What a great player. Mr. Consistent. Like I said, in 88, he went 20-3. Mechanics were off the charts. Just a great pitcher. David Cone. Sid Fernandez. You always need another guy there in the back end of that rotation to help you out. Well, that's what Hernandez was. Number 50. He's card 18. And like I said, his fastball, curve. He had a good curveball. Good player, Sid Fernandez. And then, of course, last but not least, the guy that spared Gary Carter was Barry Lyons. And Barry, card 29, he is ward number 33. Barry basically spelled Carter. Carter was out with injury at that time. And so between Lyons and Sasser, they helped fill in for 1989. Okay, that's going to do it for the Mets Hall. This was, like I said, this was pretty much the end of the New York Mets as far as those 80s teams. Those 80s teams were really, really good, and this was kind of on the back end of that. Davey Johnson would end up getting fired, and Harrelson would take over as the manager. Strawberry would leave and go to the Dodgers, and the team just kind of fell apart after that. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this. We're going to try to do this with different teams. I've got the Rangers and the Blue Jays and a lot of vintage cards coming up. So I enjoy doing this and just trying to remember back to some fun times. So stay tuned for the next card haul, and we will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching, and please give me a thumbs up. Over and out.